Hello, my name is Jennifer and I will be discussing global water resources. I'll be using various forms of visual aids to discuss this topic. It is important to understand various forms of graphical displays in the environmental science discipline. In an overview, we'll be discussing the global water on our planet. The main focuses will be first, distribution of water on the planet Earth, the amount of and accessibility of fresh water, and how we use this fresh water, as well as any environmental impacts the usage has. While discussing global water, we'll be using various forms of visual aids, and we'll discuss the importance of those visual aids as well. We'll also discuss common practices used for reading and interpreting graphical aids. This first representation is a picture representation. It describes the amount of water located on planet Earth. The largest blue sphere is all water. It is 860 miles in diameter, which is roughly the distance of Salt Lake City, Utah to Topeka, Kansas. It can hold 386 million cubic miles of water. The next sphere is the total amount of fresh water. This includes groundwater, lakes, swamps, rivers, as well as glacial. This diameter is 169.5 miles, roughly the size of Kentucky, and holds about 2,551,100 cubic miles of water. This majority is located in the glacials and ground and is very difficult to be removed. The smallest sphere is only 39.9 miles in diameter and holds 22,339 cubic miles of water. And this is the surface from fresh water in lakes and rivers. The next is a bar graph that describes the amount of water. This was another form of visual representation that describes where water is located on Earth. This has a more mathematical form, and it states specifically where water is located. This graph can give readers a more thorough understanding of where water is and the excess as well. As you can see on the left, it shows oceans, other salines, and fresh water. And then it can increase. It goes into where that 2.5% of fresh water is located, and that has 68.7% of that fresh water is in glacials and ice caps. We'll also continue on to, as well, other surface and fresh water. This has a better visual representation of where water comes from and if it can be used more specifically for projects. The next graph is just a chart. It has both the amount of water in it and how much percentage of available water this is. This will show you depicting how much miles of water has the oceans have, as well as the percentage. Our next is the graphical portrayal of water usage in the United States. This has represented both a line and a bar graph on one plane. With these, you have to make sure that you understand which plane and axis each one is represented by. The red line represents the population, and it is shown in millions on the y-axis onto the right. As you can see, population has increased from 1950 to 2005. The bar graphs show the various forms of total withdrawals we have used in water since 1950. It has steadily increased, and the highest amount of this increase was in 1980. It has decreased since then, but overall there has been an increase in water withdrawals since 1950. These withdrawals have a lot of issues. A majority of our water withdrawals are for irrigation and the diversion for farming. This can damage the ecosystem by flooding or drought. As you can see by the picture on the right, this is the picture of the Colorado River Delta. It is dried up due to water being removed from the river and used for damming for public supply as well as irrigation as well. There is also a higher risk of pollution when the water level is low. So in summary, we would like to discuss there is a limited number of water being able to use for the resources. There's a lot of rerouting of streams for irrigation and farming, and this can cause a negative effect on the environment upstream. As we went through our charts, we were able to see a graphic trend of increase in water usage, more comprehensive view of information given, when it is always very important to fully understand and read and review the visual aids to give you a fully well-rounded understanding of the issue. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a better understanding of global water resources.